What's up? What's up, guys?
What's up? Let me straighten this out. Let's go. Should we save? We'll save the best for last.
What?
We'll save the best for last.
We'll save the best for last.
Yeah.
The best. You're gonna sing? You know the songs?
No, save the best for last. Like your good news for today.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is the Nobodies movie review podcast.
Hi, everybody.
We're doing a musical this week.
Yeah.
Stan looks like he didn't enjoy it.
What? What are you talking about?
Would you like for me to sing a song?
Do you know one of the songs, Shana?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Tell me somebody knows. Tell me. Tell me what somebody knows. Or something in that manner.
Okay.
Or something in that.
We're reviewing The Heights today. Stan, what is The Heights about?
In the Heights is it's a musical drama film based on the stage musical of the same name by Lin Manuel Miranda. It stars Anthony Ramos as Usnavi.
Every Spanish actor in the fucking world.
She's gotta have it, actor.
It's about Usnavi, the story of a corner block in Washington Heights, where each member of the community pursues their dreams of a better life.
Mm-hmm.
Correct, Stan. Good job.
Is that really what it's about?
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own dream that they're trying to pursue.
I got so lost. Like, I'm like, what is the story of this shit? Like, what is?
You know what? I can feel you because some of the stuff didn't make a little bit. It was good. Don't get me wrong.
It made like I got
crazy.
it. Like the characters were going through shit, but I was like, none of this shit is like, why do I care?
Not like that.
I did.
Don't say
I was
that.
like, why do I like this girl doesn't want to go to school? Okay, that's great. So
yeah,
the whole
but
she's just
Caribbean
trying to convince
culture,
people.
education is a very very
the
big
whole
thing.
movie.
Like
She's trying to convince people of why she didn't go to school. I feel like it was a bullshit reason too. She could have just switched dorms.
Right, I agree with that.
She could have just switched dorms. She didn't have to be there.
I did. That was that. It wasn't just that. It was like there were other things too that kind of like I was like, well, is that really like that big a deal?
What?
Well, not even that.
Guys, it's a play.
No,
yeah, I get it, but the stories, it's based in story.
The part of the thing that kind of took me out of it was the whole storyline between that girl and the black dude, Benny.
Yeah. What about it?
Because I was like, okay, she went to Stanford. Obviously, that was her first year, which to me that means she's 19, maybe 20. How old is this guy? How old is he supposed to be? Because
he's around the same age.
He's around the same age.
He just didn't go to school.
He's just a dispatcher,
he just went to
taxi
work.
dispatcher. Word.
Because I got the sense that he was a lot older.
No, that's because he is a lot older in real life.
Right.
Everybody in this movie is a lot older in real life.
Correct.
Right. But I thought that he was also playing a lot older because why do you need to wear a shirt and tie to be a dispatcher? I don't understand. Because like in the beginning when he first pops up and he's wearing a shirt and tie and talking for his boss, I was like, oh, what is he working like? Real estate or is he like is he working finance?
So some of the stuff is thrown off a little bit because
I don't know how what the a dispatcher is like the essential worker of a blackout either. Like I don't get it. Like he's saving the neighborhood by dispatching cabs. Like I'm so confused.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff was a little off, like, cause we definitely ain't gonna see fire hydrants all at the same time going up in a rainbow. It's like
I mean, it's a musical. I expect stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I thought the music was cool though.
The music was amazing.
The music was cool. The
It
music
was
wasn't
really,
bad.
really good. My favorite kind of part was the pool part when they're in the pool
That was a little,
and the little young dude is what?
I didn't really like that part. They showed a little like pedophile.
You didn't like that part? I
They
thought
had
that
like
was
a little
cute.
pedophile moment. I didn't really
What?
like that.
Where did you see that?
Where the kid was in the pool, the kid who was rapping.
Oh,
He
and
gets
the
in the
girl
pool,
walks up and
and
says you kind of
then the
cute.
girl on the float, he was like, "Oh, you're
Says you
cute."
kind of
Like
cute.
that girl was like way older than him. Like
I didn't even catch that.
it was like a little crazy. It was a little crazy.
I didn't pay attention to that part. Whatever you just said.
It was a little crazy when I see it. I was like, why is she after this little kid, man?
I like
Why
the
she flirting with this
carnival
little kid?
at the end part where they're all singing together. After the beautician realized that she wasn't getting the amount of love that she was supposed to get.
Yo,
because she
and
was going
the
up to the
beautician, I want to talk about this.
What you want to talk about?
She went to Grand Concourse, which is literally across the bridge. She did not go that far. It's not like a big deal.
Yeah, but your clients is your clients, and from a
She went
beautician's point of
across the
view,
bridge, Chanel. Washington
but
Heights,
people,
the Grand Concourse is literally over the bridge.
I know. That's why she said in the film, it's a swipe, a two-stop train ride to get to her salon.
She was gonna make. She was like, it's not that far, but they were like, so you're right.
You know what
Yeah,
it
she
is
act like-
though.
but the way they made I get when she said that, but the way they made it look at the end, I'm like, they act like they're fucking going to the beautiful land of the Bronx. Like it's literally the same shit.
Nah, because I think what they was trying to depict in that part was just to show like when you move, sometimes your clients
To
don't
the
follow you.
Bronx.
That's like your barber moving to another area. You might not want to travel that far to go see your barber.
No.
I would go pretty far for my barber.
It depends.
You would go pretty far, but you're
if he moves to a different state, that's another story.
You're
But
one person.
If he moves from Washington Heights to the Bronx, I'm not tripping.
Yeah.
I'm not tripping.
Right. But a lot of people, I think what they was just trying to say is like sometimes the loss of clientele when someone that's been home for you with your hair and stuff, that the minute that they go somewhere else, you lose some of your clients. Some of your clients that might find somebody else. That's probably why she was a little upset. I mean, it's a play, but I get where that was like the point of that part.
The point that I took from that scene.
Oh, look what the cat drove in.
Go ahead, Sam.
The point that I took from that part was sort of the point that overall they were making was that gentrification is pushing her to the Bronx, and that's forcing her to lose her clientele.
Yes.
It's not so much that it's close, because it is close. In the great scheme of things,
that's the part I got too.
The point you're trying to make is like, look, it's close. It's only 10 minutes away or whatever the hell it is. But the overall point is that I wouldn't have to move if gentrification wasn't pushing me out. And there was like a real quick, right before that, there was a real quick line. There was like that couple that went up to Usnavi and they were like, we've never been north of 96th Street.
Oh yeah, I saw that. And he's like, you just take the A train downtown.
That line served as 2 points because it was like,
what? Wait, they never been north, but they live in Washington.
Remember the people that were outside the deli with the map, they were looking for downtown, and he had to show them where they were going.
So like that line,
it was like right in the beginning of the musical.
They never. Wait, okay.
It was showing gentrification of people moving into their neighborhood.
South of 96th Street, north of 96th Street is the Heights.
No, they said north.
North of 96th Street is the Heights.
Right. That's the point. They were saying they'd never been north of 96th Street.
They never been past north of 96th Street.
Right.
Okay.
That's the point they were trying to make. So it was like, that's why he was showing them whatever, showing
yeah. Them. It's showing them back downtown. You just take the A train all the way down.
No, but that's real shit. That's real shit. I know people who live where I live at that don't go to the city because they just don't.
Right.
I know people that where I'm from, Long Island, don't even know how to get around and taking the subways either. So, yeah.
Yeah, going to your party, there was, that shit. I was like, nobody knew how the fuck to get there.
It was a hassle.
Yo,
Who?
so
Definitely a hassle.
Who didn't know how to get there?
Marcus Peoples, man, like they didn't know what was going on. I'm like, yo, park right here. We here. It's here. I know, because I know Harlem. So it's like, we here over there.
Right,
Like,
right.
they don't know what's going on. They don't know.
Oh God.
They don't know 115 to 151. They don't know the difference.
They don't know Lennox.
They don't know none of that shit. I was like, park on Broadway right here. Where's Broadway?
They're the type to say Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Right. We definitely had a good time. So I don't know where you guys left off, but I'm having a difficult day. So I fell asleep watching the movie twice, and definitely a good musical. I get the messages. There's a ton of messages in this movie.
You talked shit before. A musical?
No, look.
You're doing a musical?
This is not my cup of tea at all.
It's not. But it's not.
The last musical
it makes us
the
different.
last musical that I watched and I love that's coming out is
West Side Story.
The Jets. The West Side Story is right.
I'm really looking.
Yeah.
But overall, yes, love the movie. Love the characters. Love the stories. I love my token black guy. I don't even know if is he Cuban? Is he black? I don't know if you guys spoke about it already.
That's the
he's black.
That's the controversy that's going on right now about there wasn't that many Afro-Latino.
Okay.
Do you wanna get to that now, or do you wanna skip it?
Go ahead.
Let's get to that.
You want to go first, Dan? Because the only thing I'm gonna say is we just had last year a lot of Dominican and Black rival when it was Black Lives Matter, and a lot
Afro-Latino
of
wasn't a thing in 2 years ago, man.
What?
Dominicans didn't even claim.
Afro-Latino wasn't a thing 2 years ago.
That's neither here nor there. The point of the matter is that
it's a big here or there. This movie took about 4 or 5 years to make.
The thing is like, you know, all right. Say what you will if you disagree with the fact that there aren't enough Afro-Latinos represented or whatever. But I
thought there were enough mixed cultures in that video.
But they were
saying the skin colors.
They're saying that
the skin colors weren't represented well.
I highly doubt that. You can't please nobody. And who's saying that?
So here's what happened. The people were complaining that the leads especially were whitewashed. They were too light skinned, right? And then on top of that,
but the Dr. Dre was one of the leads.
He's black. He's not. I guess he's not.
Is he not Afro-Latino?
No, I don't think he is. I think he's just.
I don't
black.
think he is.
No, I think he's just black.
He's just straight black, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But wasn't that character? Was played by somebody in the play, right?
In the play, it was played by a Puerto Rican dude.
Okay.
The guy in the play, the Broadway play, it was played. The guy that drives the
eating on camera. This is ridiculous.
The guy.
My bad.
The guy that drives the ice cream truck in the movie is the guy that plays that character in the Broadway play.
Okay.
So he's been in a bunch of like Lin Manuel Miranda work. He was in Hamilton. He played George Washington, things like that. Anyway, the point is, people were upset that there weren't enough darker Afro-Latino characters or actors cast as leads. And then what made it worse was that the director of the movie came out and was like, "What are you talking about? What about that black guy that we had black people dancers in the background?"
Was it Mario in it?
No.
I saw Mario in the background. You know Mario?
No, you did not see Mario in the background.
I swear to God, I seen Mario in the back dancing and singing. I did.
If Mario
here's my question.
Film, he's the type to want some airtime, and I highly
He was
doubt.
on screen dancing and singing.
I didn't see that.
I don't know, man.
Why don't you go find it? Screenshot.
What part was that in?
Let me look that up.
Right, but needless to say, I don't think people fully, and I don't know who was making those remarks or comments, but Afro-Latina is not black Spanish people. It's not Dominican and black mixed together makes them Afro-Latina. No, there are darker complected people in Cuba and Spain, wherever you want to go, and in Dominica. They call them Afro-Latina because they're in the darker region of it. Like there's this Dominican artist who looks black as day. Well, she looks like a black African American person, but she's literally like straight up Dominican. Her name leaves me right now, but
she's Latino.
Yeah, but it's not the mixed race that Afro-Latino. That's what it's not. That's what they're not referring to. You guys know that, right? It's not black and Dominican.
They're talking about darker skinned Latino people.
Right.
I mean, I could get where that's coming from a little bit, but I felt like for the majority part in the Heights, and I know the Heights very well, it's very rare you see that many Afro-Latino people.
Are you crazy? You go to Dykeman at any chance? There's
I do.
There's mad people.
Dykeman is Afro-Latino.
Yeah, majority.
There are a lot of dark people out there.
But mad. You live in Harlem. You don't live in the Heights.
I live uptown.
Yes, you live in Harlem. You don't live in the Heights. So you mostly see black people. You don't see Afro-Latinos because they're up more.
So Dykeman would be the answer.
No, not necessarily.
No, but Dykeman is part of the Heights. It's there.
No, I'm just saying, like, okay, if that's the case, then
the 180s.
I'm just saying, in this film, I just felt like I can get where they're saying there should be a little bit more, but I just felt like it was sufficient. It's a play. You know, we always nitpick at things, but for the most part, they had different complexions in that film. I saw dark-skinned people in there.
I saw one, but they're saying the leads.
People are complaining that, and this is my problem. If people want to come out and say, yeah, there's not enough representation, that's fine. But to detract from the movie, to be like, I'm not gonna watch this movie, or I stopped watching this movie because of this thing, that takes away from the whole point. Because here's this thing that Lin Manuel Miranda wrote when he was 20 years old, writing about his experience, and when he wrote it, there was no representation of anybody, not Afro-Latinos, not Puerto light-skinned Latinos, nobody. And he wrote this play, and it's finally getting some kind of recognition. Like, I wanted to see it on Broadway when it came out.
I'll play devil's advocate to them.
Okay.
This is basically still perpetuating the Spanish shit of the Spanish racism.
Latino.
Yeah, the Latino, Spanish, whatever. It's Latino racism. There is Latino racism.
There is Latino racism. So there is Latino racism between
they
Dominican
would say
and
that
Puerto
this
Rican
is
and Cubans.
propelling it by just putting
Cubans feel like
Latino people all over the place.
There is, and because I have Latino friends that I know that there's always a difference and sometimes a rivalry when it comes to Dominicans and Puerto Ricans and Cubans, that sometimes people get offended within their own like Caribbean culture. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, are we not supposed to aren't we supposed to unite? We're not supposed to keep dividing each other. You know what I'm saying?
But it all boils down to, they ride with you when the controversy is there. They want to be part of the conversation, but nobody, like the whole Black Lives Matter movement, everybody's for it, but nobody wants to be treated like a black person. You understand what I'm saying? We with it. I support my black brother, but I don't want to be treated like him. I know how he's treated, or I know how they're treated as unfairly, or whatever the case might be.
What are you talking
about? I don't want to be treated like that, and that's when it comes with the fucking the no black support.
You're
but
black.
We can't make this about us in this conversation.
No, I'm
today.
not. I'm just saying that's in a sense. So they always said that Dominicans are the closest Hispanic culture to blacks.
They always share an island with Haiti.
I'm just saying that I'm not talking about Haitian. I'm talking about African American.
I'm talking about Dominicans. You just mentioned Dominicans. It's literally the same island.
Closely associated with
because
African Americans.
Haiti.
With Haitians
and Puerto Rico too.
Yeah, it's the same exact island split down the middle.
And in Puerto Rico, though, there is dark-skinned Puerto Ricans.
There's dark-skinned Hispanic people.
I know. I know
that
because
of the location of the island, we know how, and we do understand here why some people's complexion is darker than others, right? We know that. We understand that science, right? The closer you are to the equator,
Yeah, but
kind of
that's
thing,
not
you know?
that's not what they're arguing. They're arguing the fact that
I understand. I
the
hear
lighter
that, but I don't
skinned
want to.
Hispanics are basically they're being racist towards the darker skinned Hispanics. And this movie is perpetuating lighter skinned Hispanic people
I
because
just
they
feel like
have
you can't. I just feel
barely
like
any
you can't please
representation or
in
no
the play,
representation of
but in the
Afro-Latino.
play, it's really this kind of like the same.
My thing, I was just playing devil's advocate, but my thing is Afro-Latino wasn't a thing, like the term, quote, or whatever, wasn't a thing until like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
No, it's always been a thing.
Well, let me.
It's
No,
always
it's
been a
always
thing.
been there,
Let me
but
say this.
the name Afro-Latino, that didn't
No,
exist.
no,
That
that's
didn't
It's
incorrect.
always
exist.
been
It
here.
did not.
that's incorrect. Space Ghost.
That did not
What?
exist. When we were kids, we heard Afro-Latino.
Space. You was not aware of it. They lived in their own
No, I got
cultures
two
and their own
Dominicans
communities.
that live in my house. They did not mention Afro-Latino until 3 years ago.
But that's
It's
your
not,
house.
it wasn't a thing.
But
We were
that's
just
your
regular
house.
Dominican.
Just
I mean,
listen.
as far
Listen
as
to what
I've
you're.
known,
Listen to what you're
Afro-Latino has
saying.
been
That's
around
like
for a
somebody
very
saying,
long
"I was
time.
born in the '90s, born in the 2000s. I've never experienced. I just heard about racism or white people hating black people.
No, that's
It's
like
the
us.
same difference, nigga.
That's like us being kids, and
This
all of a
has
sudden,
been going
no, it's the
around
same
for
thing. It's the same
decades.
thing as autism. Autism wasn't around
What?
until 10 years ago. It did
Nigga,
it was not
Are
around.
you dumb?
People were autistic, but nobody had a fucking name for it. Nobody had a name for that.
Space Ghost, you sound
shut
crazy
the
right
fuck
now.
up. You sound
No,
ignorant.
I'm
You really
ending the
sound
show. I'm ending the
crazy.
show.
Are you
'Cause
dumb?
Do your fucking research. Do your research. Do your research.
Autism has been around before you was born, you
Are you
birdhead.
fucking crazy? The term autism is a fairly new term. Stop it.
Autistic
Stop
used
it.
to be the word.
It's a
Autistic
fairly
used
new
to be the
term.
word.
Afro-Latino is a new term.
Dan,
These terms are new.
Yo,
These
Dan,
terms
go
are
ahead.
new. Just like LGBTQ is a new term that happened. It just formed. All these other extra letters in the LGBT community have just formed all the time.
nigga.
All the
Listen to what you're
pronouns,
saying.
when we say gender pronouns, that's fairly new. That's like 4 or 5 years ago. We never
That's
used to say
fairly
free.
new. That's fairly
That's
new.
new shit.
All
But
this shit is
Afro-Latinos-
new. All that shit is new.
Are you, as far as the
Show me a movie
Afro-Latinos,
from the 80s where they mention autism, please.
bro?
Go ahead,
show me a
Dan.
movie
What was
from
you
the
gonna
80s.
say? Wait,
Hold
Dan's got
on.
something to say.
Because but that I think
Show
what I'm
me
trying
a
to say
movie
is
from the 80s that they mentioned
we were not
Afro-Latino.
Guys,
conscious.
Let's
we were not
Dan
conscious
speak.
of. Hold on a second. We were not conscious of Afro-Latinos and what they were going through in their communities.
term did
If
not
you look at the
exist.
fucking storyline
The
from
term did
Abuela,
not
the
exist.
grandmother, I'm speaking, just give me 1 second. Abuela, when she went to the timeline and she told the story of how her mother came over and they had nothing, and she's telling you the story. They've been going through it for years before you and I
You
were
missing my
born.
point. You're missing
They've
my
been
point.
dealing with presidents. They were dealing with
You're
with
missing
presidents.
my point.
No, nigga, you focusing on a term.
Because that's what
Afro-Latino.
they're complaining about. That's what
I
they're
understand,
complaining about.
But do you understand
Instead
that this
of
is not
joining
new?
Hispanics and saying we are Hispanics too, they want to coin a term and say we're
Just like
Afro-Latino.
dark-skinned
The term
African
did
Americans
not
and
exist.
light-skinned African Americans.
All right,
House nigga and field nigga, it's the
that's
same
different.
difference.
That's for years.
It's the same concept.
No, it's
Damn, you're on mute.
We're just more knowledgeable
Dan's
with
not
Dan,
on
you're on
mute.
mute.
Dan's
we
not on
live
mute.
it.
He's not on
You're
mute.
not? Well, you
It's
need to
because
speak a
we
little
live
louder
it.
because
That's
we
why
can't
we're
hear
more.
you.
Check your mic.
That's
Check
why
your
we're more
mic.
conscious of it. You can't say this is new. We haven't heard nothing about it for 2 years
No,
because nobody's talking about it. Because what they're talking about was more entertaining or more prevalent in the community. Nigga, we don't live over there where it's more talked about. They don't talk about that shit. But if you dig into the past, you dig into the history, it's been around. No one talks about it because ain't nobody dying over it.
Mhm.
That's why it's not prevalent. But I promise you, this is not new. They've been dealing and battling with
I
this
didn't
for
say
a very
that
long time.
they weren't
You
battling.
just
new.
said Afro-Latino started about 2 years ago, and that's
I'm
not
talking
true.
about the term Afro-Latino. I'm talking about the fucking plight.
You only heard it 2 years ago. But I'm sure.
I've
All right.
heard
I'm 100%
Afro-Latino.
sure.
All right, cool.
I agree.
You only heard autism
I'm just
I
telling
work with
you.
autistic people.
I get it.
Autism has been around for decades.
The plight, but the term did not exist. Terms get discovered. COVID was around. It just fucking popped up. And now it's popular. So stop it. Terms,
bro. You're talking about
come forward.
You're focusing on the term
because
or you're
that is
on
what they're
the
using.
idea.
It's language.
The reason we're focusing on the term is because the term is what they're using to talk about why they don't like this movie, what the issue they have with this movie. And I agree with Space Ghost. It wasn't. It has nothing to do with like their plight. We all know their plight existed because everybody's plight existed for as long as it has. The issue is that you have this group of people who, however, they saw the movie, or they saw half the movie, they saw a quarter of the movie, and they were like,
what group of people? You got to specify that. What group of people?
The people who are complaining about
people that are complaining about.
Who are the people that are complaining about?
Afro-Latino people.
Who are the people that you're complaining?
Afro-Latino community people.
Lin Manuel Miranda had to apologize.
All right, I just want you to say it. Don't just say the people in this group and that. Be specific.
The people who coined themselves Afro-Latinos.
Okay. Now Linda, we had to apologize today because even my job, we had cut that package of that about her apologizing, and I didn't understand why she was apologizing, but I did get it. Don't get me wrong.
People apologize before I don't think they even understand what they're apologizing for. They just apologize. So funny you said that. Christina said that today. It's so funny you said that. They just apologize to get it out the way.
Yeah, she said that today too. It's so funny. She said sometimes people apologize because we always want to cancel culture, cancel all of this stuff, and people got to always say sorry even when they're not really sorry. They just do it because they have to do it. And then and then 9 times out of 10 they still lose their endorsements regardless.
Lin Manuel Miranda has nothing to apologize for, because if people were really this upset, why didn't they complain 13 years ago when the show was on Broadway? They didn't complain then. Why are they complaining now?
Because they need something to complain about.
Because you can't please anybody in this world, Stan.
That's my issue with it. That's my problem with it. It's like, if you're gonna complain about In the Heights,
I get where you're coming from.
Complain about where was this? Where was
your input? I get it.
I'm saying that the movie, the term was coined about 3-4 years ago, and the movie was in production still. So you cannot say
all of this stuff you say. I want you to refrain from, and I need you. I honestly
fuck
need
that
you.
shit, man. No,
you really have to stop saying
it's the fucking facts. It's the fucking
pull it up.
facts.
You're in front of a computer, nigga. Pull it up and show
me. I did.
You don't keep saying this is because you only heard about it 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yo, my nigga. Tell me the last time. Tell me the last time you heard it. Tell me the last time you heard it.
Are you
fucking kidding me? Tell me the last time you
bro?
heard it. Fuck me,
nigga.
When the last time you heard it? When's the first time you heard about Afro-Latino people?
This is irrelevant.
More than 4 years ago.
When? Please tell me. When and where? When and where? Who told you?
Afro-Latino.
Who? What they say? Did they say I'm Afro-Latino? Who?
Yeah.
Who? Where was you at?
Negro, just like that. Black Dominicans.
So
yes,
that's not Afro-Latino.
Where was that? Whenever you bring that up to actual Dominicans, and they'd be like, no, I'm not black. Where was that? Where was that in the show?
Nigga, it's this, but that's the same thing with a fucking African nigga or a Haitian nigga, and I say you black nigga, and they say no, I'm not. I'm Haitian, or I'm Jamaican, or I'm fucking whatever. They don't claim the set because I got the same complexion. You can't tell a fucking black person he's black or if he's not.
But it's incorrect.
What? Why is it incorrect?
Because I can't, even though I'm Haitian, I can't sit here and say I'm not African American because
you're not. You're Haitian.
That's not.
Where were you born?
I was born here.
Okay, so then you're African American. If you tell a fucking Haitian person that was born in Haitian because he resembles a black person, he's black. That's not correct.
But they are.
That's gonna be.
I guess that's why what we're arguing about in this day and age right now is the separation of what are.
Why can't they just be Hispanic? Like I just don't understand it, man.
because they're not.
To put them in a little box of Afro-Latino is crazy to
Everybody
me.
wants to be important. Everybody wants to feel like, oh, I'm this thing. I'm not.
Why can't they just be like, yo, why did you have
And you
darker
can't-
skinned Latino people in this? Why they got to coin a phrase to put that, like, it don't got to be that way.
It's not even about the phrase. What bothers me is the fact that they're detracting from this movie this entity, this script, this play that has existed for close to 15 years now. Why are they choosing now to complain about it?
Because we're living in a day and age where everyone is so sensitive to everything. And I just had this conversation with Christina while we were watching the film. And we were just talking about what we're going to talk about on the show. And what I heard from today is that this world is so sensitive to everything. I said, you can't even make a joke without being canceled. I said, the only person, honestly, who could get away with making a joke about anybody is Dave Chappelle. And he'll get a pass. But anybody else that's a comedian or an actor, an actress, a singer or something, you say one simple thing and they want to cancel you out.
Afro-Latino started in 2018 before it was turned negra soy. Then they had coined the term Afro-Latinx, Latinx and all that shit.
That was like just last year.
That was 2019.
I'm like that.
So Afro-Latino was 2018. Latinx and all that shit.
Latinx, I just heard like 2 years ago.
Those just came out. It's a term that just coined itself. This is a community that started online. It's not a fucking thing that's been around. It has not been around. But these people existed for a fact. They've existed, but this is the first time they've clicked up and said, "Oh, I'm Afro-Latino."
I am on your side with the argument because I don't understand where if y'all are so adamant right now about why there weren't any Afro-Latino people in the movie, why didn't you put your input in it?
Why don't they make the same complaint for West Side Story? Why don't they make the same complaint for other Spanish shows, for novellas? We all make the same
complaints, but we all make complaints, but when it comes down to, well, you didn't have no input in it, it's like you really can't say nothing. That's like
the show was in production for 4 years, and you coined this phrase in 2018. It was just like, what are we talking about? You just came about. You cannot be mad.
Hold on a second. Coining a phrase, me existing before a phrase is coined is like what?
This is like Mark. This is
not
like
official. I'm not who I am until it's coined.
No.
Until it's made public and coined.
This is like BLM. This is like BLM. When did BLM start? When did BLM start?
What? Look, this is my argument.
2019.
It's like Trumpers. When did Trumpers start? Who are the Trump supporters? That is a group that just started, that just went after. So if you said,
Trump never had supporters before then.
But what I'm saying is
there was never people advocating against black violence.
These terms are groups of people that just came together online. This is not
officially.
I feel like you shouldn't say anything if you didn't have no input in it. So the fact that they're complaining about there's not enough Afro-Latino people, did you put your input in it before this movie was created? No? Then you have no right to say anything. Because if you really felt that way,
they have a right to say what they want to say.
This is someone's story. Is this someone's story? That's point blank.
They have a right to say what they want to say.
The point I'm trying to make is this.
But they should have put it their input.
We're losing focus on what the messages that was trying to be portrayed, right? And it's the racism and the discrimination, the prejudice that people went through. Not only black people have experienced racism.
Go like this.
You understand what I'm saying? Not only black people have experienced that. And my whole point is, fuck the coins or the terms and all this stuff. We've all dealt with some sort of racism at one point in time. All cultures, Hispanic cultures, fucking African cultures, Irish cultures. There's a big argument saying that Irish people were enslaved before black people. And that's not true. You know what I'm saying? It's just, we can't get caught up in these terminologies. This shit is whack. Oh, it wasn't coined until 2018. But those people hadn't had a right organizer to put it together until then.
But the point is, it's not about.
This shit's been going on for decades. All the shit they've been going through has been here. It existed amongst us. We just weren't hip to it because we were too busy working on what we were going through.
But the point isn't about the terminology. The point is about you know, why, the point that I'm trying to make is like, why detract from this project? Why detract from this thing that's a good thing by saying, okay, well, it's good, but it, you know, I was talking to somebody about it. This is a friend of mine from like first grade, and he still lives in Inwood. I used to live in Inwood, and we're still friends. And I was talking to him about it today, and he sent me this message. He was like, I'm all for equal representation, but we're reaching a point of overly picking apart every single thing that's put in front of us.
Everything.
I agree.
Everything. You can't. This was such a good film.
Let me finish. He said, I saw this as a masterpiece work on Broadway twice and on screen with a virtually entire Latino cast that came in all different shades. Every person in the film was highly skilled, and for most of them, this is the biggest credit on their resume and has propelled them to stardom. The culture, the representation, and the talent is all being pushed forward in this project. Can we be proud and save the criticism? Just save the criticism for once. And I agree with that.
I'm with him on that. But like I said, we're sensitive that we want to pull apart everything. That's why I just can't deal with like living in this whole normalize this and cancel culture, this and stuff. It's becoming really annoying. It's becoming annoying because it's like you really can't please anyone with anything you do now. I don't give a fuck
about none of these motherfuckers. That's the problem. And
this is that we.
But you can't say that to somebody that's cutting your paycheck.
Who cutting my paycheck?
I'm saying you can't say that to somebody that's cutting your paycheck about F you. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. Not if they cutting your checks.
If you're a celebrity,
I'm saying if you're a celebrity,
Lin Manuel Miranda is gonna make money off this shit, regardless of the Afro-Latino community don't support it or whatever, because the white people are supporting him, and they gonna support this, and it just is what it is. It don't matter. There's black people and white people supporting this, and there's other Spanish people that are.
I mean, I enjoyed the film. He's gonna make
his money regardless. So
I just feel like
he gonna apologize. All right, sorry, Afro-Latinos, but I made this movie. That's it. You guys just came up here. I didn't know. I tried. You know, they said they tried to cast. They said they was in casting. I guess they didn't make the cut. So that's it. Like, just keep it moving. Keep it moving. He said he tried to cast Afro-Latino people. They didn't make the cut.
So what happened?
Sometimes they don't make the cut. Look at the actors that's in this shit. They're Latino actors that's Mark Anthony did an incredible job. I was sitting here watching that shit with a Spanish person at that. And they said Mark Anthony played a drunk Spanish person because
Mark Anthony has been in films before.
Yes, but he played that role.
Oh, I get
like a real Spanish person would look
Latino,
unhooked belt, getting drunk, and I watched it with the Latino person. So they said the same. It's like, yo, that reminds me of my father. I'm watching the movie. He didn't say, oh, he's not black. He don't got dark skin. No, he said, nah, that nigga look like my father, bro. He look like my dad. He's Latino.
And it's
like yo,
for what it is, because like you look. They could have whitewashed it. They really could have. They could have whitewashed the fuck out of it.
It's a little whitewashed to me.
It's a little bit, but like they could have been like. But a lot of the cast members were in the Broadway play. The grandmother was in the Broadway play as the same.
Yeah, no, she was.
The guy that played Usnavi was in the Broadway play as the same character. Lin Manuel Miranda played that character at one point. It's like all these actors. They got what's her name from Orange Is the New Black to be in it, and she did a decent enough job, I guess. They got the girl from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. She was funny. I think
the only odd person was Dr. Dre to me.
Right?
Why do you keep calling him Dr. Dre?
Because he played Dr. Dre and he just can't get it out.
He's the only odd dude in the movie to me. Like, he just sticks out to me. I don't. It's not.
I think that part is just to show like
Dr. Dre.
I think that part is to show the Latino culture with dating black people.
I get it, but I think they forced it.
But that was in.
They could have picked. I don't know if he could sing, but they could have picked the other dude. Who's the dude?
What other dude?
Who's the dude? The monster and what's that Latino kid? What? He played in the
from the Bronx.
Yeah.
They should
Central Park 5 dude.
Yeah. They should have picked him.
No, he's too young. He got a young face. I think this guy was sufficient.
Nah. The girl got a young face too.
Guy, I mean, Corey Hawkins is 32. They could have found somebody younger.
No, I'm saying like he looks more mature in the face rather than Central Park 5 dude. Central Park 5 got like a baby face.
What's pretty young, isn't it?
Not really.
Yes, he does.
Isn't
Like if I had to choose who looks more mature as a grown
But he
man,
looked like he from the Heights. Like that's why I said
I get where you coming from, but I'm just saying, like for the love attraction, it would have been. I'm fine with that dude.
he did a great job. I just think he sticks out in the movie to me. He sticks out.
I mean, he's black.
He's the only black nigga
course
amongst
he's
all
gonna
these
stick
Spanish
out.
people. It kind of looks kind of crazy to me.
The character's black.
No,
But
is that
the
a
character in
token
the
black
play
guy?
was Puerto Rican.
The actor was Puerto Rican.
Yeah, but he was Puerto Rican, right? So is he supposed to be Puerto Rican?
No, the character's supposed to be black.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was great. That's just my opinion.
But did you understand the messages?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I did.
I got
Would you like
enough
to
of the
tell
messages.
the followers what the messages was, Dr. Cram?
He didn't even see her go.
I don't have my doctorate yet, but when I get it, I'll holler at you.
All right.
He didn't even see her go to the Bronx.
But when you see movies like these, right, and it makes you, it drives the passion in a lot of people, and it sheds light, it educates and sheds light on a lot of things that a lot of people are unaware of. Like we learn, a lot of white people, let's say this, a lot of white people learn from these kind of movies, like watching Roots, watching, Harriet Tubman movies.
They still don't learn that thing.
They learn it, but then they're like, nah, it's not true. It's a movie.
Right.
They don't understand that is
having conversations is where you understand. That's why I always believe in having conversations more than what's being depicted on TV. That's not real. That's like people looking at Bill Cosby show and thinking that's, don't get me wrong, there are families like that, but that's not an everyday family household. Correct. But what you see on TV, you're gonna think, oh, this is what.
No, but I would rather that because then fucking poor black stories all day.
No, I get what you're saying, but I'm saying, but in a natural, in a real world, that's not what's being depicted every day.
Right.
Let's be real.
What are you talking about?
The lifestyle of a Bill Cosby show is not depicted every day.
For you. For some people, it is.
No,
yeah, but he's just saying that don't use that example for everybody. It's not this.
That's what I'm saying.
But Bill Cosby came out during a time where it was black people were depicted as poor. That's why they had like Good Times and then Bill Cosby.
Yeah, exactly.
And Fresh Prince
and I honestly
and shit like that showed black people in a different space.
I miss shows like that where it depicts us getting education, having a good family, having good jobs and, being successful and stuff. Don't get me wrong. Remember when we had the conversation about we're tired of seeing black trauma films?
Yes.
Black struggle, black trauma films. I'm all for it too, because those were the shows that we grew up on that made us feel like we could be a doctor, we could be a lawyer, we could have a good family household, we could, have a good education and stuff like that. I am with you on that. And I just feel like the stories is that we need more conversations instead of watching stuff on TV and films, because that's really not how things go. And that's
how do you feel about the messages behind it? And they showing these struggle films, and
gentrification does exist. We see it right now. What's happening is that they're really trying to push people out. The rent is too damn high, as they say.
Would you view it as an inspirational film when they show these struggles? Because they never lose at the end; they always win. It's just to build confidence in those communities.
Depends on what you call winning.
Some nigga.
It depends on what you want.
He would have never got nowhere if Abuela didn't win the fucking lottery.
In the lottery, for real.
And that's some bullshit to me. We don't need to win the fucking lottery to get out the hood.
True.
That's true too.
Yeah, I mean, luck strikes. Sometimes you get lucky. You get blessed with a blessing like that.
I also believe that
there's multiple things you can take from that. I think yeah. On one side, on one hand, you could say here's a blessing that was kind of like left behind by his abuela and everything like that, which is all fine and good. But
was it at his father's bar? That wasn't Abuela's bar.
You didn't finish the movie.
He was going back to DR because he got the deed of his father's house.
Yes, and the bar.
And he wanted to fix the bar up and stuff because he could go back to DR and get his father's history and legacy back up and running.
He basically did the same thing, but in the Heights.
Yes, he did the same thing, but in the Heights. I also agree with Space Ghost is that you don't have to, I get that it's a play too, but that's not real life. Or real life is, the part that I get, the message I get within that film is, you could do whatever you want to do if you put your mind and your work ethic into doing it. So if you want to be a fashion designer, you don't have to, you don't have to, you know, act like you have to bust your ass, but you could still believe that you have the capability. You don't have to give up. You don't have to move. You could still do what you can do to make it in life. But I feel like
if he doesn't win the lottery, what happens?
If he didn't win a lottery, he would have still left.
He didn't.
He was going to go to JFK and book that flight.
Right.
No,
if he didn't,
I'm saying in his case, his dream was to, first of all, his dream was to take his father's place anyway.
Right.
So
I see, okay.
Whether it was DR or whether it was in the Heights, his dream was just to live through his father's legacy of being an owner. So that wasn't what, it didn't matter what location. He had money to do what he wanted to do with living his father's dream. That's what his dream was about. Okay. In her case, I like the part where it showed the difference between her rent application and then the two white people that came in right after. And the lady was so pleasant and happy to shake their hands and welcome them into the apartment, because that is what it's like in an everyday, whether it's Caribbean or a Black household, how we're treated against white people.
That's a New York period experience. That shit.
You think it's a New York experience?
Yeah,
I think it's definitely a white privilege experience difference from.
That's definitely New York, because they'll accept your application and look at you and then be like, okay, we need this. And he's like, I got all this shit, I got it. And then let the white couple come in and they'll swipe that apartment right from under you.
But that's what I'm saying is I like that was depicted, because it shows what we go through in real life. And you know, those are some of the messages that I took from it, that you could do anything you want to do if you put your mind to it. We're all busting our ass to get to where we need to get to successfully and not have to really own something in our name and not have to worry about working all for the rest of our lives. I would hope so. So, but you have to put the work in. You can't get nothing done if you don't put the work in. Space Ghost is a primary example of him working his ass off, and now he's reaping some of the benefits. Why? Because he put the work in.
I don't know.
You're reaping some of the. I hate that you don't like.
I don't reap any benefits. I don't see the benefits.
Just shut up. Just shut up. Listen to what I'm saying. Because you never.
Because you're speaking for me, but I'm telling you that there's no benefits right now.
There is a benefit from it.
There's nothing.
Are you happy
Maybe
with
nothing
the optics are not what it is.
You think I'm talking about materialistic of reaping the benefits? Are you happy with what you do?
No, not yet.
Then why do you do it?
I am working towards happiness. There's a difference. It's a big difference.
You're working towards happiness.
Nigga, happy. Shut the fuck up.
What are you talking about? I just worked with you the other night.
You sad? Are you sad right now?
What? I'm never sad.
I've been sad with your life. Are you happy about your life? Complacent?
My thing is,
I'm working.
Is between, first of all, collectively all of, hold on.
I won't be happy until everybody's good. Until then,
that's how I feel too. Hold on.
You part of that, nigga. You want to
hold on. But that's my point, is that all four of us collectively on this show bust our ass to make something out of ourselves. Stan is busting his ass to be a comedian. Space Ghost is busting his ass to be one of the flyest producers out there.
Stan is a comedian, not to be.
Stan is the comedian. You know what, Stan, let me reword that. Stan is a comedian who's busting his ass to be one of the hottest comedians out there. Let me put it that way. Okay.
What's the point?
I'm just saying that you put the work in. You just can't in the film think that hitting the lottery is an example of how you're gonna make it. We're talking, I'm going back to so I was just saying that in that case, as a message, is that you have to put the work in order to reap the benefits. I'm with Space Ghost on that too. I'm not happy until I feel like I don't have to look at a price tag anymore. That's when I'm happy.
I don't give a fuck about price tag. I'm not happy until
no, I'm serious. That's when I know I don't have to worry about a price tag about anything.
When 50 Cent said about himself in power, and it was an interview, I forget who he did it with, and he said he knows he's like happy or rich, or you could say wealthy, when he doesn't have to work, but he still get paid. So then when niggas was like, oh, why the fuck did you kill yourself off the show? He said, because I was getting paid. So when he said he wasn't getting paid unless he was on the show. And then once he got to that platform and that point where he was like, all right, well, I don't have to work no more, kill myself off the show, I'm still getting paid for the show.
You're right, because it's his show.
Once you start getting paid, so like once Space Ghost and once Stan,
I get paid. Careers, I get paid and I don't have to lift a finger. But the thing is, work is never done. The work is never done.
Work is never done.
And I'm not gonna. And my happiness, I'm like, happiness is personal. So my happiness does not depend on the work I'm doing. My happiness depends on the people I'm around when I'm working. If I'm around y'all and y'all fucked up and I'm good, I'm not gonna be happy. Because now I gotta, like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's
I get it.
I don't want to be around fucked up people.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna combine ourselves collectively and share happiness, because you're not responsible for either one of us.
I'm not responsible for you, but if I could put you in a position to help you out in the things that you want to do for yourself, then I'm a try.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Yeah.
And that's why we need more people like that, like us, to be honest with you. You know, my barbecue, my little shindig, my little kickback, I received so many text messages of how many, I didn't get to talk to everybody, but it seems like everybody got to mix and get to know everybody, that whatever y'all encountered with meeting people, everyone texted me and said, this was honestly the most positive kickback I've ever been to. And I've never, I've been to plenty of stuff, but the fact that everyone got along, got to get to know people and ask around and, really get a good vibe, it made me as a person shit like that makes me happy when I'm having nothing but positivity all around.
You have happy people around you.
When you have
nobody miserable,
and Ed is the most critical person, and for him to text me to say, I enjoyed myself the entire day, it was nothing but positive vibes all day, that made me like, all right, this really was a good turnout. The messages I received from the entire time was about Cram too, making everybody walking around just asking if everybody's good. Stan, you was cracking jokes. A couple of people told me, yo, your friend is really funny. And Space Ghost, you was walking around with my damn flyer thing of my face, cracking jokes on me. But the thing about it is that that's happiness for me. I get where Space Ghost is coming from, is that it's not materialistic things. It's the things that bring you joy with people. And if we had people that hold conversations like this, that hold functions like that and stuff, the world would probably be not so judgmental, not so picky, not so sensitive to everything that's put out there.
You gotta just focus on your world. I can't focus on.
Of course, no, that's world. Absolutely.
I could just view it and tell you how I feel about it. But my world is, I'm gonna try to do what I can in my world. That's it.
Same here.
All right,
my world came out on Saturday.
Go ahead, Stan. Because Stan gotta go.
Let's rate the movie.
I give it a
swimming pool of Dippin' Dots. We said it at the same time.
I said a spoon.
That's it?
I say a spoon.
Wait, what'd you say?
A spoon.
A spoon.
Really?
I give it a cup of Dippin' Dots.
You didn't watch the movie, so we can't really take your opinion.
I didn't finish watching, but thus far I give it a cup. Umbrella just died, and
they just
called the ambulance. I got the last hour, maybe 50 minutes left. But I give it a cup of Dippin' Dots for where I am at the part of the message.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I'm giving it also like Chanel, I'm giving it swimming pool. Actually, the swimming pool that was in the movie, that's the swimming pool.
That's a pretty big swimming pool, man.
Yeah, man.
That's a pretty big swimming pool. I would get that too.
Can I just say?
Isn't that an Astoria? Isn't that a Astoria swimming pool?
It did look like Astoria swimming pool, actually.
I think it is.
Maybe it is, because there's no swimming pool.
I
around
was
here.
gonna say,
swimming pool in
that,
Astoria.
that was something I didn't want to nitpick, but I was like, when I lived up there,
I ain't seen no swimming pools.
when I lived on Dykeman, the only swimming pools that I knew that were public that we could go to, we could either go up to Van Cortlandt Park or we could go down to 145th.
I think that was Astoria.
Yeah.
That was a Astoria swimming pool.
I don't think that was maybe that's one part we need to just research on where that is, but
I think that was Astoria.
I
it
enjoyed
like
this film.
It's
Been a while since we had something that's not Black trauma or something that's not crime and stuff. It's something that is supposed to uplift people. That's why I enjoyed it.
Well, we got another Black positive movie, Fatherhood, coming up. That's what we watching.
What's the movie?
Fatherhood, Kevin Hart.
Oh,
All
we're gonna
right,
watch
so
that?
we're gonna do that.
Yeah,
What platform is that coming out on?
Netflix. It's on Netflix.
All right.
It's out already?
Comes out Friday, I think.
Okay.
Or
All
tomorrow.
right, looking forward to it. Stan, I know you gotta go, so let's sign out. Right? How do we do that? Do we do a thumbnail yet?
No, who does thumbs? We do peeps.
Oh, we got to
the
do a
thumbnail.
musical thumbnail. What's a musical thumbnail?
I don't know. A guitar?
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't know what's going on.
All right.